Welcome back. Here is John Cumbers.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see everybody back. So we have a very special guest for us today. Because as many of you know, SynBioBeta wouldn't be the same without Twist Bioscience. And the field of synthetic biology wouldn't be the same without Twist Bioscience. Because it was over 10 years ago today that Emily launched their first product at SynBioBeta. I remember it well. It was our London event, and it was a big deal because at the time, the price of DNA synthesis was one of the most expensive inputs into the synthetic biology lab. And what you can see now is an incredibly vibrant and incredibly competitive DNA synthesis market that just didn't exist 10 years ago. And so a big piece of that is because of the work of one person. And that one person is the CEO and the founder of Twist Bioscience. So please put your hands together and give a big round of applause for Emily Leproust.
Thank you.
So good to see you, Emily.
Good to see you.
Thank you for coming. Please grab a seat. So it's an exciting time in the world of DNA synthesis, a very vibrant, competitive market. Maybe I know that you have a few slides to support our discussion, but I'm curious if you can talk a little bit about the motivation that you had to start Twist, and in particular, what did you see that was missing in the marketplace at that time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a DNA chemist, right? And so once you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Definitely, buying DNA at the time, was used to cost $1 base, and then the vision that we have for Twist was to lower that price. When we started Twist, we have a vision that 9 cents a base for a clonal gene would be a great place to be. And so me and the two Bills, we went out there and we're like, we need to raise money.
This is Bill Banier.
This is Bill Banier and Bill Peck. Yeah.
The two Bills.
The two Bills. And we went out there and we raised $600,000 for the first round. And I think we have a picture behind us where I think that's April 16, 2013, right? We got the money April 15. We went to IKEA, we got 3 desks, and we got in a corner, and that was the best day of our lives.
Tax day? Was it significant that it was tax day?
It was a coincidence.
Okay.
That, it was indeed tax day. Yeah.
That's wonderful. We've never talked about this, but you did customer discovery phone calls with people, and I was working at NASA at the time. And do you remember calling me?
I think so, yeah, because you had the first SynBioBeta, and then I'm like, I need to talk to this guy, and that was you.
I couldn't remember if it was before SynBioBeta
after, yeah.
or after SynBioBeta.
Yeah. No, because it's key, right? So you have this big idea, and you're like, we're going to raise a lot of money, we're going to build technology, will anybody buy it? And so coding people to get that discovery of validating, am I crazy or am I really seeing something big there? Because our view was, can we miniaturize the DNA chemistry? Can you use inkjet printing to print some droplet on a silicon chip, which was novel at the time. The idea was if you print 10 picoliters, it's going to be a lot less expensive because all that chemistry is super expensive, and to this day that's the technology we're using.
So talk about the launch then, London 2016.
Yeah, so very quickly we're able to print DNA, we're able to make DNA. We're like, okay, we're going. Like let's jump off the cliff, let's burn the boat, let's go commercial. If you're a startup, going commercial is key. Everybody wants it, but it's a treadmill. Once you get on, you can't get off, right? It's like you have to keep pedaling. And so we're thinking, what is the best way to launch? Obviously, it had to be in SynBioBeta. And actually, when I reviewed the picture yesterday, it turns out I'm wearing the same sweater. It was not 10 years ago, it was 11 years.
Oh, really?
So actually, we're not after 10 years on overnight success. It's after 11 years. So we launched the alpha. We went big, and yeah, that was April 28, 2015. And the good news is we could make DNA. We had scale, but you know that the launch is actually the easy part. The hard part is that treadmill of every day. Launching.
So describe what happened after the launch.
Well, after the launch, we got our first orders. That was our alpha access. We could make the DNA, and frankly, we could not track the DNA. We lost it. Like we made 1,000 genes, and we didn't know which one was which customer. And so I had to go to the board. We're like, we got to shut down, you know, and we had to retool. Because we built a printing machine, but we didn't build the software infrastructure around it. And so it actually took us 6 months, and then we relaunched with the food launch.
How did you not know which piece of DNA belonged to which customer?
You know, we were using Google Sheets, and we didn't have the tracking system that was sophisticated enough. But since then, now we have, and we've been able to ship more and more genes. I think last year we shipped almost 1 million genes, and you can't. And it's 1 million gene in 1 million vector in 1 million tube with 1 million barcode to 1 million address with the 1 million invoice. And you will think the easy part is the DNA synthesis. You'll think the hard part is the DNA synthesis. The hard part is sending the right invoice. You know, and we just reported our earnings yesterday. We shipped 300,000 genes last quarter. We use more than 50,000 in-house. So we're on a run rate already of 1.4 million genes a year and growing 20% year over year.
Sorry, 300,000 and then 50,000?
Yeah, because there's 300,000 that we ship to people.
Okay.
But now we also make protein, we also characterize for customers. And so we also used more than 50,000 genes internally. So we made them, it's just that we ended up shipping data instead of shipping product. And so shipping the invoice is hard. And then what's really hard too is the speed. Because I don't know if you remember, but at SynBioBeta, when we launched, actually we were slow. And actually I got some charts where it used to be like 20 days, you know, to make a clonal gene. And now we make a clonal gene in 5 to 7 days, so an average of 6 days. We make a clonal fragment in 3 days. Again, at scale. Anybody can make a gene in 5 days, but making 1 million, that's the hard part.
Emily, I know that you love to talk about the customer first. What are some of the recent customers that you can share with the audience that you're most proud in terms of the work that they're doing and the Twist DNA that's being incorporated into the work that they're doing?
Man, that's we have so many confidential informations, so I have to be very careful. You know, the product lineup that we have is very very broad. Maybe I can share two that I know are public. In the cancer diagnostic side, Guardant Health is a customer where you take a blood draw. It's not Theranos, right? It's for real. It's a lot of blood, but they can detect cancer when it's tiny like this. And sometimes it's super hard to see even on a CT scan instead of finding cancer when you can feel a lump. So that's a customer we're very proud of, where they do early stage cancer diagnostics. And then the other end, we're working with a number of AI companies. There's hundreds and thousands of customers. Jara is one of them. They're gonna speak on our behalf in May, so I know I can mention their name. But
how do you spell that?
Xaira. They did $1 billion Series A.
Great. And
right?
we have Mark Tessier
Levine, who is speaking on the panel just in half an hour about that. So
That's right. But if you want names, those are names. But it's really thousands of people we ship to every day.
And talk a little bit about how you prioritized expansion and new products over the years, from the launch in 2015 to where we are now.
Yeah, I mean, when I started, I was frankly a little bit naive through my discovery. I thought, everybody wants the same thing. They want DNA, so that's easy. And actually, when we launched, we only have a few flavors of DNA. And it turns out that everybody wants something different. And so over the years, I think this is the roadmap, the product roadmap we're in 2021. By now, we've added more and more product. If you ask 5 people how they do drug discovery, you get 6 opinions, right? And so some they want fragments, some they want genes, some they want prep, some they want IgG, some they want data, and they want different modalities, and they want it in plate, they want it in tubes, they want a 2D barcode, sometimes they want it lyophilized or normalized, and so what we realized quickly that we had to massively customize everything, because there was no 2 orders the same. And so that's what we leverage software, and we leverage industrialization to be able to, we're going to meet you where you are for your science, right? No matter the way you want to do it, we'll be there. We'll never tell you what to do. You tell us what to do, and then we'll find a way to fold ourselves in a pretzel to do it. And now, we are, even though we are the DNA company, we are going into protein, because that's a lot of the demand is protein.
So let's talk about that, because you have a beautiful booth in the expo hall, and you have a number of your customers there, a number of the AI companies that you're working with. So this is a new product area for you. You're not actually shipping those customers DNA, is that right?
So we'll do whatever you want, but yeah, there's a lot of customers now. They come to us and they say, you know what? We don't have a wet lab. We're a dry lab company, and we'll do the learning, we'll do the designing, but we need someone to do the building and the testing. And so part of what we had to do, and is not only. And they're like, and by the way, we don't want DNA. Like, we want protein, because we need antibodies, we need VHH, we need bispecific, we need scFv, we need Fab, many different modality. And so we've leaned into that, and I think the stats speaks for themselves. Last year we made more than 200,000 IgGs in-house, which is super high scale. For a DNA company, being the company that makes the most IgG, I think, in the world, and those are 1 IgG per tube, and it's expressed, it's either mammalian or cell-free, and then it's purified, polished, characterized. We did more than 130,000 characterization of antibodies. So that's, again, it's functional testing, epitope bidding, all the developability assays. We had to not only learn how to do that, but do it at scale, super fast, super low cost, super high quality, and it's kind of exciting. And actually, if you want, I brought in some data.
Oh, sure, we love data.
We had one customer that came to us and they said, we want, for 10,000 antibodies, we want all the functionality, we want the specific binding, we want the non-specific binding, we want the thermal stability, and by the way, we want it in 20 days. And so, yeah, actually it's no problem, because it's all automated. And so this is, real data on 10,000 antibodies, and now we do it routinely. We're happy to do 1 antibody, but in 20 days. We're happy to do 100 in 20 days, 1,000 in 20 days, or 10,000 in 20 days. You can't break us. You're going to run out of money before you break us.
You had a big announcement with Amazon just a couple of weeks ago. We have, I think Amazon is participating in your
booth
today. and there's a session that they're speaking in, I think, later today or tomorrow. Tell us about the partnership with Amazon. What's it about, and how did that come about?
Yeah, I mean, we're super excited. Again, there's a lot of excitement in AI, right? AI, our view is that there's still a place for in vivo, in vitro, but AI is going to be the first path of drug discovery, the first line. And so we have lots of customers, they come in and they have their own algorithm, they want their own thousands of IgG, and so that's great. But there's also a lot of groups, they don't necessarily know where to start. And the activation energy is where do I start is hard. And I think Amazon does have a great vision. It's like, let's build a marketplace where they have a lot of models available. You can start just by a few tokens. You can upload your target, do your design, and so you leverage the learning that they've done to do your design, but then you still have to do the building and the testing. And so you just press a button, buy from us, and we'll send data back in just a few weeks to the Amazon marketplace, and you don't have to do anything. You just have to do the thinking. We can take care of deploying the capex, maintaining the machine, calibrating them, bringing the people, and some people are on vacation, some it's the weekend or it's the night or they're depressed, right? So we take care of all of that. You don't have the overhang of having to run a wet lab. We do it at scale for you. And so I think that's where the Amazon partnership is fantastic. It really enables people to lower the activation energy to use AI for drug discovery. And there's two big ways. Right? One way is let's do pooled discovery. There's a way to do arrayed discovery. And we're happy to support both. Our goal is to lower the activation energy, lower the barrier for anybody to get going in the area of drug discovery. But if you want to do in vivo, I don't know if people know, but Twist, we own alpacas. We have an alpaca farm, right? So we'll do alpaca discovery if you want, right? I think we have rabbits and mouse, so we'll do everything. We see a lot of excitement in bispecific. So again, we don't want to tell people how to do science. If they want to do AI, we'll have the best tools. If they want to do in vivo, in vitro, we'll have the best tools.
Is the alpaca farm up in Oregon?
No, it's on the East Coast.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to visit. We can do a SynBioBeta camp out.
That's right.
At the alpaca farm. So we've seen a lot of tech getting into biotech recently, not just Amazon, but Anthropic. We have the head of life sciences speaking at Anthropic tomorrow. We have OpenAI, a couple of people here from OpenAI. How do you feel about the tech industry coming for biotech?
It's fantastic, right? Because it brings critical mass to the ecosystem, right? That it brings capital, it reduces friction, and so yeah, I think it makes sense. The bioeconomy is just so critical to the economy, but it's so critical to the human condition and improving the well-being of people, improving sustainability, even if it's a dirty world now, right? So yeah, we are all for it, and that's one of the things that I think SynBioBeta has always been really good at is nurturing, enabling, catalyzing the ecosystem.
Thank you. Thinking about the news this week, you had your earnings yesterday.
That's right.
Some very impressive revenue growth numbers. Can you tell us how did the revenue change year over year or quarter to quarter?
Yes, thank you. I had a breakfast this morning, so I told people that once you're a public company, doing the IPO is like peeing your pants. First it feels great, and then you realize what you've done, right? You're on that quarterly treadmill of having to announce your earnings. So we had $111 million rounding revenue for the quarter. which and we grew 20%. So revenue is good, but growth is very important. Our gross margin was more than 52%. So we are not gouging as a company. Like we don't make 90% margin, right? 52% is a good. That's why it's a good deal for us. It's a good deal for our customer. Well, we always want to have the highest quality, fastest DNA and protein, but at a great price. And we are going to be profitable in September, right? So it's like after 10 or 11 years, finally we're going to be profitable. And so very excited about that. So, but the key is growth. And so it's our 13th quarter of consecutive growth. I think over the last 3 years, we've grown 24% a year. Last 5 years, we've grown more than 35% a year. So, and growing 20% on $111 million is really hard. And so I heard you earlier say that there's one person responsible for Twist. If you don't mind me correcting, it's a team, right? It's like if it's good at Twist, it's the team. If it's bad, it's me. So I'm only in charge of the bad stuff. It's really the team. We've hired an amazing team, and so they're really the ones that did it. And we are here to serve our customers. You are Batman, and we are Robin. We're here to help you. So whatever you need, whichever DNA, protein, data, again, we'll fold ourselves in a pretzel to make you successful.
Phenomenal. Emily, it's been an 11-year overnight success. It's a pleasure to have you back as always and to see so many great Twist team members here and also great Twist customers here. So thank you as always for coming to join us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.